What's happening, guys? My name is Jamie, this is the Knowledge Reptile Shed, and we are currently just about to start the second heat wave for the summer in the UK. So it's very hot outside, it's getting hotter as the days go on, so I'm not going to be doing any jobs inside the reptile room for this video. It's a bit too dark in there. I've got some lights turned off, I've got other vivs kind of really turned off to kind of stop building up the heat inside there. So just for a couple of days it's a little bit dark, a little bit dingy in there, but I do have a job that we can be doing inside. So let's head into the lounge and I'll talk you through it. So just here we have got the baby cat snake vivarium, the green cat snake, the Boiga cyanea, whatever we want to call her. There she is. Now she is actually really fastly growing out of this vivarium, but I kind of still want it to look good before I upgrade her to something new, probably something custom inside the in the shed, but that will be a future project. But for now, my focus this week is on this vivarium, which I like how it's grown in. I like the plants. There's some big philodendron species in there, and it is okay, but I've noticed it's all starting to look a little bit tatty on the plants. And then I looked at the soil and I noticed that the soil is just gone to crap. It's dried out quite a lot. It's missing a lot of the vital components to make a good soil, which I've obviously since making this I've learned. So this was actually one of the first vivariums that I built and filmed the sort of moving in process. I think it was actually the second video that I did on the channel, was moving her into this vivarium. So I've covered, I'll link back to the original video which covers the build, it covers the equipment that we're using in there. But for this video I'm going to be ripping out the soil, pulling up the plants, mixing a new custom soil mix that I'm going to make quite a light airy soil that I can just let the philodendrons, any sort of devil's ivy or anything like that, it can just grow in the whole thing. So I'm going to make a soil that suits those plants to cover the entire base, and then we're going to rebuild it, clean the glass up, make it all look nice and pretty again. And yeah, so sit back and enjoy this one. You go. Here we go, an empty vivarium. Now, due to the nature of these Viv Exotics, you don't have much of a plinth height, which means I can't put a drainage layer in here, which probably is the reason for my original soil going quite bad, that I couldn't, I had to be quite mindful of how much water I put in this. And although it is on a misting system, you have to be kind of spot on, you have to keep checking things, and I just didn't with this. Just the plants looked okay, so I just left it going. But yeah, the soil was pretty dry, and it had nothing in it that kind of helped with the growth for philodendrons or monsteras, or like, you know, Pothos or anything like that. So yeah, so the next soil mix, which we're going to go and do outside, is going to contain a lot of that, and we are just going to chuck it in, build it right up at the back, and keep it level at the front. Maybe try and use a piece of wood again to make a barrier, to keep a lower level at the front, and then obviously we can then build it right up at the back. And we are just going to have to keep on top of it again. That is the only way you can do it in this style vivarium. I could put like a glass plinth on it or mess about with it, but I'm not doing it. This has already had so much work done to it that yeah, we're going to redo the soil and start again, and see how long that lasts. But yeah, let's go outside and mix up some soil. Okay, soil ingredients. We have got lumpwood charcoal, all smashed up into nice little bits. I buy that from I don't know, B&M or the Range or something. Just buy it like that, smash it up, and you've got lumpwood charcoal. Cocoa fibre, but in a massive sack. You can buy this from the shop where they sell the stuff to grow the nice tasting plants. So yeah, you can buy it. I buy it like that. I think you get a bit more money. You get more cocoa fibre for your money. That's a 50-litre bag, and I think it's about 12 quid, something like that. And I haven't got to make it and do all that, so that skips a step. We've got some worm castings down there from Soil Ninja, orchid bark, cocoa chips, which are nice big lumps that are going to keep the soil nice and aerated, and some perlite that also does the same job. So mix it all together, and yeah, we'll have ourselves a nice soil. I'm going to fill this entire bucket up, and this should be enough to spread out and also then use for planters, and maybe even keep some back so I can plant some more cuttings up and things like that. Okay, quantities. It's always a massively overly complicated thing. I'm just going to mix a light and airy soil. It's going to be quite heavy on the cocoa fibre and the cocoa chips. But everything else, I'm not going to give you a specific ratio for it. I don't think you need a specific ratio for it. I'm just going to mix it all together, make a nice fluffy substrate, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start with the cocoa fibre. Throw in the charcoal. Now before I go any further with adding the other stuff, I'm just gonna, this stuff is bone dry. It comes compressed slightly, so I'm just gonna wet that now rather than rely on the whole soil mix dampening that up. Add some perlite. There we have it. Nice airy soil, full of bits, perfect for philodendrons, monsteras, and all that stuff. So there's enough soil to get us started. It's quite hard to see, but I've built the back up a lot higher than the front, and I've used this old branch that I had in there originally just as a barrier to stop the soil building up at the front. So yeah, Now I'm going to bring the old plants back in and put the old decor in. I'm going to figure out a plant for this planter up here, and let's put it back together. Crack on. So there we go, guys. That is another one ticked off the list. Just a quick one about the substrate. Obviously, I added perlite in the substrate for this particular species. Now, if you don't know about Boiga or these cat snakes, she pretty much spends 99% of her time off the floor. I don't feed her on the floor or anything like that. And although perlite is a safe substance in terms of there's no chemicals or anything like that. Obviously, the risk of another reptile species that would burrow or live on the soil, the risk of eating and consuming the perlite is a little bit more higher, which could cause damage. So I don't suggest it for every species, but for this species, with the snake that's always in the trees and off the ground, the substrate here is basically for the plants. Then yeah, that's why I've added the perlite in, but don't expect to see that in most of my other videos, because a lot of my other videos, my snakes use the ground a lot more. So that'll do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I think next week we're going to be in the shed doing something. In the meantime, you can support the channel on Patreon. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop me a comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.